Hello, Connective. Welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Like, share, and subscribe without smashing anything. And let's get into this energy. This is a collective reading for Cancer. Cancer, we're going to see what's going on for you today. All right, just going to finish going through it, see if anything else wants to pop out from this deck. Okay. All right. Just going to do one pass on that one. So we want to take 1 to 3 cards. We don't want too many. Oh, we got commitment. Let's get some other cards on the table, figure out what's going on there. All right. So that was the Akashic Tarot, and this is the Energy Oracle. I'm going to try to get jumpers on these and see what messages we can get to come out for Cancer. And then we're going to pull Alice and the Moons. And I will pull a blind spot, but I'm going to do it in the extended reading. If this reading resonates with you. Oh. All right. Going to finish going through it this time and then one more time. Let's see if anything else wants to come out from the Energy Oracle. Okay. Wow. Okay. There's a card that should have fell out there, but it didn't. All right, what do we have? Okay. Oh, all right. So we have commitment, and then we have carrying connections, and we have angel of strength. I'm just going to put that up there, and then we have appreciation, which we always talk about when we're manifesting. We want to have appreciation, and then we have the world. So I'm going to put the world down here. Still going to keep this. Actually, we could just put these like this. But I want the Akashic to be at the top for right now, even though it's way over there. We'll see what Alice in Wonderland has to say. Obviously, we're working towards, looks like, you know, an emotional commitment. It doesn't have to be like a romantic relationship, but well, it doesn't have to be. This could be a job. All right, so what did we get to come out from the Alice in Wonderland? All right, so what's this? Believe. All right, this is strange encounters, but believe is what's standing out to me here. And then we have, I want to be a queen. It's like sovereignty. And changed in the night. It says you have changed quickly. Changed in the night. We always looked at it as changed overnight. We have who in the world are you? Getting to know the new you. And then growing up. So, all right. Just gonna pull the moons. Pull the moons. See what we can get to come out. Move them a little bit. Yeah, this does not have to be a romantic relationship, but it can be just something that's important. So, friends, family, any kind of relationship, work. Just want to kind of get 3 moons. See if we can get some other signs to come out or messages. Okay. One more. How many do we have? We have 2. So let's pull 1 off the bottom. All right. What do we have for Cancer? Let's see. What is the big picture? All right. So we have full moon in Aries, cool your emotions. First quarter moon in Scorpio, release your blocks. And last quarter moon in Aquarius, reflect on your priorities. Yeah, I don't know why it kind of looks like angel of strength and appreciation. The appreciation, I mean, it's part of the story here, but I was going to say it's more of a byproduct the byproduct part of it would be that there's something else going on that might make it hard for you to like have or express your appreciation. Like I said, it could be any situation. It could be, you know, something at work. You could be like trying to go towards something at work that you want, but maybe the connections that you have aren't exactly conducive to getting you there, or you're just finding it hard to have appreciation for the job that you do have because you've gone through a little bit. It doesn't say what you went through. It just says that like it upset you, and you might have brought something in with it that kind of like created that situation to be well, I was going to say harder than it has to be, but just something that was, I guess, yeah, more of a I was going to say a block, but more of like an obstacle, or maybe something that needed to be overcome. Like maybe not necessarily something that, you know, was meant to stop you, but something to slow you down, that it just took a toll on you. This commitment card. So this is the One of Roses, which is like kind of like cups to me, right? And I'm getting a little bit contract, but not, it's not just about a contract. There's, let's see, where's our roses? I'm gonna find out. There we go. All right, so roses are scattered around a contract on a brightly lit desk. When this card appears upright, it means that a valuable union is at hand. A romantic commitment may be coming your way, or perhaps a love from your past lives is returning to you. A business commitment may be forthcoming, such as the offer of a promotion or a new job, or the opportunity to form a partnership or create a new business venture. This card could also indicate the signing of other types of papers, including the sale or purchase of a house or the beginning of a new investment. Let me just see if there's anything more on the next page. Yeah, there is. Either way, this card is filled with light, and it indicates that good results are in the offering. Offering? In the offing. It literally says offing. And as with many cards, part of the meaning refers to you. If it is a reminder to be conscious of your commitment to yourself. If you want others to put you first or to help bring happiness to your life, then you must commit to do the same. Your self-honoring choices will set the groundwork for all your partnerships to thrive. So yeah, I think this is actually saying like yourself and others, like both, because reflect on your priorities here is telling me to like, you want to know what you want. And I think in order to know what you want, you have to like know who you are. I always say that. And it doesn't have to be fully, it doesn't have to be like you have to dissect yourself and figure out all the things that you want. But, you know, sometimes when we move forward, we don't think about it. If we do think about the future, we think of it in terms of like based on our past experiences and how the future would look based on our past experiences. And that's not necessarily how things would go if we didn't look at it that way. If we looked at it just for the sake of looking at moving forward, we would have more of an open mind and more possibilities to bring in what's coming for us, but in a good way. You know, it's all about belief. Do we believe that we can bring that to us, right? And I like growing up too. It's kind of like we get these systems, these belief systems in place based on maybe something that was shown to us in the past, you know. And a lot of times too, when these cards come up that are like reflect on your priorities or to remember what was important to you, a lot of times what ends up happening is we go back through and we like rewrite what we want, because we're not getting what we want in the way that, you know, even maybe in the way that we've given it, so that it's not even just like something that came to us that wasn't exactly what we wanted, but we just were unfulfilled about it because we know we gave more than we got back. And sometimes it causes us to be unsure about who we're supposed to be in a relationship, or who we were in that relationship, or maybe we just changed altogether and then figured out that either the person that we were with wasn't a match for us, or we changed out of the match, and that, you know, now we have to kind of like move forward with an idea of like more, like what more do we want in that relationship, right? Because even sometimes when we withdraw and we're protecting ourselves, we don't think about it again in terms of the future, in terms of moving forward. We think about what happened in the past and what we don't want to happen again. And then when we do look towards the future, we look through, you know, with that past lens, and we just put on it like this is going to happen again, or this might happen again. Even if it's a might happen again, it gets to the point where you're sort of creating it. That's why appreciation is on the table. You're supposed to always appreciate what you had back there, and even the stuff that was undesirable, that gave you an opportunity to learn something, because that's always what you want to get out of it if you want to get in a better, you know, situation. So I was going to say relationship, but it doesn't have to be like a physical or like a romantic relationship we're talking about. It could be anything we're talking about. It could be our relationship to the job. It could be a lot of things. Again, if we don't have appreciation for the job itself, I mean, despite what relationships we have with the people in it, you know, if we don't have an appreciation for the job itself, what happens when those people that are in it leave? Or what happens when, you know, something changes for you? Does you know, where do you start with when you're in the middle of something and you realize that either it's changed or you didn't care about it in the first place? I mean, if you appreciate it, things come a lot easier to you. Like I said, when you're manifesting, a lot of times in relationships, we are trying to manifest, you know, we might even just be trying to manifest that commitment, you know, but a lot of times we don't get met with what we're giving. I mean, that could be in different ways. That could be like, you know, you're giving more than the other person, or like in terms of quantity, or you could also be giving more to that person in terms of quality, or you could be doing both. And in situations like that, it gets to the point where you're still trying to reach for that commitment, but that commitment isn't, I was going to say trying to reach for you. So it's either blocked, or like from before you came in it, or you're blocking it. And again, it could be, if you're upset, that could be one way you're blocking it. If you have forgotten what was important to you, you're trying to have a commitment without your own like boundaries or belief system, like your original belief system, not the one that you created when you got into a situation that was like subpar by your standards, then it's a possibility that you're making it harder on yourself by doing it, by allowing that, by allowing either to be upset, or like I said, you know, anything short of giving up your dreams, all the way to just going back and remembering in the first place what you were trying to get from that relationship, or from that, I was going to say union, but I mean, technically we're talking about a commitment. I guess a commitment is a relationship. I mean, how long, you know, whenever you're entering into some kind of agreement, be it verbal or otherwise, you know, do we really think about how long is this commitment going to be? Like when we're trying to, let's say, I mean, if you have a mortgage, the mortgage tells you how long the commitment's going to be. But if you wanted to rent a house, right, and you just wanted to rent and you were just going to sign a lease every year, you know, do you go into it saying, well, how many years are we going to be here? 8, 12? Like, I mean, not everybody does that. Usually if they do, it's because they're looking forward. They're going to take the stepping stones that they need to move forward in a direction that is different from where they came from. They're moving. So it's one of those things where you have to believe it. And sometimes this here too is You have to be a different person in the thing that you're going towards than the thing that you were in. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to change, like you have to force change, but a lot of times what will happen is you'll change anyway, especially if you do have appreciation for what you're going towards, because it'll come easier to you. That struggle, the block, it won't be there. It won't be a struggle. There won't be emotions to cool. It'll just be like a slow move towards like carrying connections and whatever else it is that you're trying to get to, kind of thing. Even if it is coming from outside, like the stuff that's coming from you, I get it. And we'll pull the blind spot in the extended and see if it's the blind spot's coming from you or someone else. But either way, you need to cool the emotions, because if you can't cool the emotions, you're not going to be able to operate in the way that you want to operate. Even if you, let's say it was a job you were going after and you got the job, right? But something happened while you were trying to get the job where it kind of upset you. You got the job, but it kind of upset you, and you carry that into that commitment. Let's say it's something that somebody did that you work with, and now you're just mad at them, but you still have to work with them, kind of thing. It's going to change the dynamics of the situation. It's going to change you. And again, if you have appreciation for the situation, whatever it is, and you hang on to stuff that's going to cause you to like look at it in a different way that's not pleasant, it's not really helpful. I think it's going to block you from other things, like moving forward in other ways that are productive or pleasant or better than where you are. Not that where you are is bad, but a lot of times we set our standards a lot lower than what it is that we deserve, or what it is that's actually coming to us. We don't picture it, and even if we do picture it, we don't necessarily believe that that's for us, or that truly even exists. I mean, much easier to believe that it doesn't exist than it doesn't exist for us, because our soul knows that that's not true. I mean, if you were talking about love, your soul already knows that love is out there, even if you feel like you've never experienced it. You've had to deal with other things while you were trying to give love, But there's other things that are more obvious to you, like even when you're trying to lie to yourself. And again, even if you don't believe it, but you're successful at lying to yourself enough, you could still create those blocks. It doesn't matter if it's you telling yourself the story or somebody else. And again, if you allow it to get to you, then that creates a whole nother ripple effect, a whole different dynamic to the situation. When really all we are is we're just going back to commitment, to agreeing to, either enter into a contract, or we're just deciding that we're going to move forward with something. Could just be a commitment to ourselves, like it said, to promise ourselves first. If you need to go back and look at what it is that is important, or what it is that you were going for when you were doing it, or maybe even somebody else's intentions, if somebody inserted something into your situation that was less than desirable, to look at what the intention was. Look at what the intention was, and build on that. Take that with you. At least then, if you do go through like would you be considered to be a negative experience when you're trying to get towards something that you want, you can look at it in a different way. It's important to do that, and again, when you have cooler emotions, it's easier to do that. And of course, that helps you to move forward in any capacity, even just when things happen in the future, being able to kind of navigate through it quickly or easily, or at least efficiently, because you'd been through it before, and you again didn't let your emotions get the best of you to the point where you couldn't think. You didn't necessarily need to know who you are, but you left the door open to figure it out. But one of the most important things is that whatever it is that you're trying to have appreciation for, whatever you're trying to actually like bring in, you want to make sure that you believe in it. If you don't believe in it, then that would be one of the things that you need to work on too. And when I work on, I mean that you're getting in your own way in this particular situation, as far as like the part of you that needs to commit to yourself about what it is that you want. So if you've already got that down, if you've already reflected on your priorities, and you know what those things are, you know who you are, then you want to look at the outside part of it, that part that you're giving to others in that commitment, so that you can make sure that it's just as much as part of what you're trying to do as what you're giving yourself. Again, when we're talking about like giving too much, you know, giving to yourself first, and then, you know, like I said, being available for that commitment, for carrying connections, you know, having appreciation. I mean, this should kind of come naturally, but even if it didn't, you'd be reminded of the things that you appreciate when you're trying to bring more things in, because you're giving yourself what you need. You're not coming from a place that's like needy. You know, you're not coming from a place that needs to be fulfilled from the outside. So I'm really curious, Cancer, what the blind spot is on this one. We're going to go to the extended and pull that and a couple other like supportive, there's some angel cards that I have. So if this is your story, meet us over at the extended. And if not, until we meet again,